All right, we are here. I'm here with Tony Fonderson, and we just completed our Man Alive podcast on honest sex.
Woohoo.
And I thought it was hot, one of my favorite conversations. And I'm curious, what was one of your favorite parts, or what do you most want people to get from this conversation?
I think that honesty in sex can be such a juicy topic, and I think that it can open up. I think it can create much, much stronger bonds between people, and I think it's also helps one to discover more about oneself.
Yeah.
So, by being honest in sex, I can discover more about me and more about you, my partner, and we can both, grow from the whole interaction. So, I think it's really juicy. I think it's. I don't think people talk lovers, strangely enough. I don't think that they have enough honesty in the sexual interactions.
No,
I
and
think
you
it's
really think about how few people actually talk about sex. Like,
hmm
we do it,
hmm
but I think debriefing a sexual experience can be one of the most amazing things that create, right? And a lot of people I talk to through both coaching and just personally aren't totally satisfied in their love lives or their sex lives. And I think one of the pieces that becomes really important to change that is to have conversations, to be willing. One of the parts I loved about our conversation was the piece around being willing to be honest with yourself, and
yeah,
then being able and willing to take the risk to communicate that to someone else.
yeah. I mean, it's a big risk, but it's a risk worth taking because even if you're dissatisfied in your sex life, what makes it even worse is when you don't feel confident or comfortable enough to actually communicate that to your partner, and your partner may be blissfully thinking that, hey, we had a great interaction, everything is okay, and not knowing that you're suffering or you have a completely different point of view.
Yeah.
So communication can really, really bring a lot of healing and a lot of resolution to that situation. But
Yeah.
you got to take the risk.
You got to take
You
that
got to
risk.
take the risk, and it's
And,
worth it.
and yeah, and we were
It's worth
talking,
it.
we were talking a little bit about how sometimes it can be easier to be honest with a stranger than a partner.
Yeah,
And this is applicable for both people who are single and starting to
sure.
have sexual partners or a partner, and people who are in a long-term relationship. And the closer we get to someone, the harder it can be to be honest. And yet that is where love gets to happen and love gets to flow, when we really start to know each other. And what are your desires and your needs, and what are mine, and how are we both going to support each other to have them met, even if it feels a little edgy over here, a little scary over there. How can we create something together and collaborate?
Correct. Absolutely. Because I think that what's really, really hot is when you can actually express what sex may means to you or what a sexual encounter meant to you. Because let's say you both had sex. It's a shared experience, it's a shared physical experience. You were both there, you were both in it, you were doing it with one another.
Yeah.
So you had this physical interaction where you were both physically present and there. But the meaning of that sometimes takes place in your brain, in your own mind. And
Uh-huh.
the meaning of that shared interaction could be completely different for both partners.
Yes.
A juicy part about this debrief, I love the way you that expression, a debrief afterwards, is when you exchange what it meant to you.
Yeah.
Because you could open up a whole new dimension in your relationship
Yes.
from that.
Yes.
And even if it meant something different for your partner, we've got 2 ears and one mouth. Shut your mouth, open your ears, listen, because you might learn something new, and it will, at the very least, broaden your horizons.
Yeah.
And I think that's always a good thing.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for having this conversation, and go check out our Man
Thanks a
Alive
million, Shayna.
podcast on honest.
Yes, listen to Shayna. This is a great podcast. It's
And to
I
you.
love the and
To both of us.
yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks a million, Shayna.